I'm all good.
It's very nerve-wracking with the amplification. Not really. I have nothing. Here's what I just said. It's nerve-wracking with the amplification. Since we've done the podcast, I haven't touched a button. I haven't taken an SD card. I haven't jiggled a cord to see if that's working. I've done nothing.
But it did sort of sound Norm Crosby-ish.
Oh, right.
It's nerve-wracking with the amplification. But you meant to say something completely different.
But Norm... No, it's not. I don't want to get into dissecting Norm right now.
It's not.
But later I could.
Sure.
Is he alive?
Let's warm up to Norm Crosby.
I think he's alive.
I don't think he is. I think he's desicitated.
And he was. I did tell you.
Norm Crosby.
I love jokes that I don't think you were intended to make that joke, right?
Desicitated? I think I was.
Oh. But it happened so fast.
Well, that's how I operate, my friend.
That's the secret. A lot of comics are funny, but they come up with something an hour later. You boom, bang, boom, bang, boom.
I'm no way Homer.
I didn't smoke any pot today.
Wow, how you doing?
I feel like I can remember things.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. It's a whole different thing.
Wow, no. That's just crazy talk.
I did have I'm going to talk about going back to New York for the wedding, but I did have an audition this morning.
Yeah, how'd it go?
I don't think I was great. I don't think I'm ever particularly great at an audition yet because I don't take them. It's not that I don't take them seriously. I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
So I try to live in a land like where I don't look at the stage directions, and then I just, I mean, I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit, but not that much. And I was jet lagged. This guy was so great. The casting director, he worked with me. It was like he likes me. He knew it wasn't good, and he worked with me.
And did you feel like they brought in Andy Kindler, or was it a call?
I don't think they brought in. Well, right before me, and I can't believe I didn't say hi to him because he looked towards me. I'm not saying he recognized me. That's not what I'm about. But Robert Romanus.
Oh wow, there you go.
Right for
One
for the same role.
Fast times for Andy Kindler.
You know what's really bad about it is that if I was friends with him, I would annoy him at one point because I would keep wanting to get back into that Fast Times thing.
You would annoy him at an early point, I think.
Yeah, because he doesn't need it.
It might not get to friendship. You would annoy.
Well, I always do what I do with people is I do I pretend. The last thing you're going to hear from me is questions about Fast Times.
Right.
I'm not about the old days. And then somehow that scene when you
hey, I need tickets for Cheap Trick, you'll say, or something like that.
That reminds me of that thing in the movie where you told the guy, I got your ticket so close you scared the band. I do a good, somewhat impression of him in that movie.
That was Robert Romanus doing Dennis Miller, I think.
Dennis Miller. My favorite line is, I woke up this morning,
Robert Romanus could play Dennis Miller in the Dennis Miller story, I think.
Robert Romanus's comedy is more up to date. I don't know. That made no sense. I was going to slam Dennis Miller again. I feel bad.
Everyone is sending me the bad Dennis Miller reviews now. It's very funny. Thank you, everybody, who's sending me those. Yes, I got 10 copies of it, but it's great every time.
It's a joy.
It
really is. It never gets old because he never ceases to impress by the deterioration of his mind. Or do you think it's just general laziness of his mind? Like, he doesn't make any sense with the tweet, the millipedes.
Right.
Is that the famous one, the millipedes?
Well, I mean, that's the most recent. But
what are people sending you, like Dennis Miller?
Well, there's this review, like someone did a review of his podcast, which is a great review.
Oh, okay. Can you send that to me? I think maybe I have seen it.
I will send it to you. I probably forwarded one or two of them to you, but there was a quote, and Jay Kogan quoted it online, so I went to his tweet of it, but it jumped out at me completely, which was this quote: "Being able to understand a Dennis Miller analogy is like being able to recognize a brain tumor on your own CT scan. The sense of accomplishment only lasts a few seconds before the existential dread sets in."
My God. No, wait.
Is that a beautiful sentence?
Is that a Jay Kogan impression of him?
No, that was just Jay quoting from that review of Dennis Miller.
I don't think that's one. I think that's one of his better recent tweets.
Of Jay's?
Of Dennis. No, wait.
No, you don't understand anything ever.
That's because I don't listen.
That's might be
only
it.
Because I don't listen. If I listened, I would think I would get things. So.
That was an excerpt from the review of Dennis Miller's current podcast that everyone keeps sending me.
Right, but in the review, is it that guy's impression of Oh, that's how that guy is expressing his distaste for Dennis Miller.
For the podcast, yes, and Dennis Miller.
So that's why it was a well-written joke. I thought Dennis Miller was saying, yeah, but listen to what Dennis Miller joke is like.
Good.
And that would have been...
That would have shown self-awareness and retention of skill.
But he does have self-awareness, I maintain.
You
know what?
He clearly doesn't.
You know why? Because he's a horrible... and I mean this with total malice. He's a horrible human being inside.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to be that self-aware.
Could be.
Could be. But he can't think he's horrible. If he thought he was a horrible human being...
Everyone's a hero in their own story.
That's true. That's true.
That's what they say.
In other words, he feels aggrieved. Mm-hmm. Aggrieved. Well, the world's messed up. These terrible the politics, and nobody likes the guy as he likes.
There's a certain old comic syndrome that happens too. I think it happened.
I'm right here.
Well,
I'm right here.
Just listen up.
If I can see you, I can hear you.
Talk to your doctor if any of these symptoms apply to you.
Ask your doctor if retiring is right for you.
But there's a thing, and I think
with the old jokes around the town. Go.
It was implied.
Okay. Old man syndrome.
It's just this thing of it's the faulty logic of I was funny, therefore I am funny, and therefore if I say it, it's funny.
Yes.
Robert Klein kind of went through that. He just, everything he said was first thought theater. Everything.
Who came up with first thought theater?
That's mine.
It's so cool.
I use it a lot.
First thought theater.
Yes.
When I put that on my album and cut you out somehow, wow. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where Dennis is at. I'm funny, Dennis Miller. Therefore, if I write it, it's funny.
And also, and therefore I write it, but also, the other thing is this dissatisfaction with the entitlement of thinking, I'm Dennis Miller, right? I mean, we all could be subject to it, but neither one of us have had an opportunity to rest on our laurels.
Right.
He has made billions of dollars.
Right. But now he has a podcast. I don't think you can really sling arrows at his, at all the way everything keeps going his way is my point.
But the thing is,
the marketplace is sort of speaking honestly about Dennis Miller at this point too.
Well, he went after, I don't know if he went after a specific demographic or the people, he just became unpleasant and he attracted some of those, Bill O'Reilly type fans.
Yeah, it's hard to place the chicken and egg in this scenario.
Which came first? But isn't it depressing when you're trying to appeal to Glenn Beck fans, right, and they are like, all these guys, a lot of these fans are like, what is this? It's like get your head out of the clouds, Dennis. Give me something I can hold on to. Because Bill O'Reilly was doing, I think, Dennis Miller when he would bring him on the.
It's hard to tell who was turning into who, really.
And he's gone now, right? Bill O'Reilly is gone. He passed away, or what happened?
No, he moved on to podcast to your pastures.
He's he's like when it's like I don't want to bring his name up because it's never good, and I can't. But Adam Carolla, when he went to his own podcast, and then he started saying, "I'm underground now, baby. It's underground. I mean, it's pirate radio. It's like who's stopping them?" Is my point. They don't have to hide. Aren't pirate radios where you have to hide because the government's going to take you off the air?
Yeah, in the 60s.
In the 60s? What could have happened in the 60s? I guess so. I don't know. I'm very confused. Can you tell I started off good? Let's just evaluate.
Yeah, you walked in. First of all, you walked in at 9:03 with your phone out and the screen alit with the numbers, looking at the numbers like you were an old man in a medicine commercial going, "Look at my numbers, honey." 9:03.
And actually,
doctor says I'm on time.
And celebrating the tardiness in a way.
Yes, just the minimal tardiness.
And almost thinking that he said one time, 5 minutes is no problem.
And I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, but doesn't mean it's good.
I treated you like you were on time, didn't I?
You were celebratory. Yes, but it's not anything to be proud of.
Well,
I don't like being
That is a syndrome you have, which is way too easily proud of myself syndrome. but it's accompanied by way too easily hate myself syndrome, so it kind of balances out.
Itself up. I don't like when people are. I don't go to parties early. Don't you? Wouldn't it be bad if
But
I
you
came
don't leave early either.
That's a bad problem. I have a bad problem. I really I'm trying to get the sense now that people really don't want to talk to me that long as I would talk to them.
Well, I'm in like hour 80 right now, so
Yeah, but
I'm not one to talk.
You're doing it for financial reasons.
Right, exactly. It's just it's my future at stake here.
I feel bad for you because
Just leave it at that.
I know. I mean, we didn't tape normally because of I was at the wedding.
Yeah.
Now that's why I'm trying to be funny, succinct,
Right, not saying extra
linear,
words.
no extra words.
Oh, very nice.
And also, I'm
'Cause you
trying to
understand,
avoid.
I now have to edit tomorrow.
Right. So I want it to be easy, and I want to avoid easy ones that I know will be bad. When did you get that plate?
Something
for
like
example.
that. Yes.
Can you hear that sound?
Right.
No.
Right. Don't
Or
need it.
yes. Either way, there's nowhere to go with it. Yes, that's the sound of the air conditioner. Ah, that wasn't a good enough lead-in for you.
So how was it? You were in New York?
It was really amazing.
We'll set the scene. It was a
It's
wedding?
my youngest nephew. I have
Okay.
three.
Brother's daughter?
My brother has 3 kids, and my sister adopted a child.
Okay.
And a child. What does that mean? And 2 nephews and a niece, and now the niece is the oldest. Now they're all married, and it was a really great wedding. It was like a Montauk. Have you been to Montauk?
I've never been to Montauk, but I know your brother has some cake in the bank. So
I laugh in a very nervous way
Yeah.
when I say that because I don't know how positive it is for me, image-wise, rebel comedy-wise, that my brother is doing so well.
Safety net of a rich brother.
Yeah, yeah. You know how they tell comics have something to fall back on?
Yeah.
A wealthy brother,
Right.
for example.
Right.
So
for me, I have a brother with 2 kidneys. That's how I use him as my safety net.
Oh, he gave you a kidney.
No, he hasn't yet.
But he would.
I'm always going, have you been drinking lots of fluids?
I don't know that I would give you a kidney.
I don't think you would.
Why?
Because I wouldn't ask you, first of all.
No, that's wrong. This is the type of argument I would have in my mind for a couple hours.
Yeah.
During my more obsessive compulsive phase.
Well, if it helps, I won't give you a kidney.
No. You really wouldn't?
No, because I have one.
Oh, wait, you can't. You're a terrible donor.
Yes.
Why are you? You go, and that's what you tell people. Oh my God.
I'd love to help you move, but I have one kidney.
I'm never going to help anybody move again either.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But you know,
I think age 60 kind of cuts you off from helping people move.
why is everyone bringing it up recently? I don't think I've been in a conversation in a year without someone saying, at your age, 60, something like that.
Yeah.
The 60s. You don't think I heard you before?
Right?
I grew up in Queens, and I never had any experience of this area, Montauk. And in fact, my neighbor...
Montauk is Long Island, right?
Yeah, the tip of Long Island, it's Montauk.
Like it's like just past the whatever they're called.
The Bridgehamptons and the Southamptons.
The
Yeah,
Hamptons,
right.
Yeah.
But you don't really... When you're driving there, it seems like there's one road. It's just one road.
Right.
Because when you look at a map of Long Island, it looks like it's 5 blocks long. I know I'm wrong about this, but I didn't like enjoy East Hampton on my way to Southampton, on my way to Bridgehampton. And when I was a kid, I never had any idea of it. And someone told me the show, The Affair is shot there, which I actually like that show, but then I can't keep up with it. But you know that show on
Allison likes it.
Yeah.
I've never watched.
I love Dominic.
Don't know.
Okay. He was in The Wire too.
Oh, him.
And we'll be back with more horrible clues.
More old man TV talk.
But my brother used to have a place on the Cape or Martha's Vineyard or something.
Yeah.
I went there. I like the island. The island is the new Cape.
Stay away from the island, David. Stay away from the island.
Is that Marlon Brando?
It's Chris Elliott as Marlon Brando. Actually, it's me as Chris Elliott as Marlon Brando.
I wish I could get a tape of him calling Paul Schaefer Ringo and just play that back. But it was great. My nephew is 30. I think he's 30, something like that. And they've been dating for 8 years. They didn't rush into it.
Yeah.
They're in love. It was just fantastic. It was like one of the first weddings I've enjoyed myself in a way. It's still nerve-wracking.
Right.
But I enjoy myself at my wedding, and I always brag to people about how great it was, and I try to fish for the compliment. Boy, was it great, and you are right.
Right. Yeah, no, it was great. You're
What?
right. It was great. You're right.
No, I mean La Jolla.
Ah, that was.
We picked up your hotel room, right?
That was good. No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad for a Bob and Ray like bed. So I had a great time. And the other thing about it was I'm getting better being around my family without trying to fix everything every second.
Well, that's good. That's big.
It's real. And also realizing that I'm uncomfortable, which I think I told you about before. I feel uncomfortable. No, but I feel uncomfortable a lot.
Yes.
And I spent a lot of my life trying to say that's stupid to feel that way and get back in the game and entertain these people.
Right.
So I'm trying.
So it's a shorter process now.
It's a short. Well, no. First of all, you're aware. Why are you feeling this way? Because it's family. This. That. I mean, there's a reason why you're feeling this way.
Right.
And the idea that you should be coming into the thing. I used to think I'd go back east and I would save the family in a way. You know what I mean? Or I'm the not that the family needed saving. Yes. I mean, not that there was anything wrong with my family. There were serious problems. I'm the only sane one. So I would go back there and try to be everyone's friend. It's impossible, especially with my brother. Is it appropriate for your brother to do the "that's not my hand, that's not my popcorn" joke? So I used to think that I had to make everybody happy. This is a normal thing. And this is when people go into therapy or the reflective in their 20s or 30s, they learn these things. It took me a long time to learn these things, that you can't please everybody. And I think Ricky Nelson was right. I think that's one of my favorite songs for that very reason.
Yeah.
He went to the garden party, right?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, are you not going to fight me on that? It's a great song, right?
It's a pretty. I mean, as Rick Nelson song goes, it's way up there for sure.
Yeah, it's way up there. Yeah. But I'm actually a Rick Nelson fan because I like Traveling Man. I know you didn't write Traveling Man, but I kind of I liked his.
It's a good groove.
The cut
a
of
good
his
vibe. Yes, it's a nice.
But
it's solid.
It's solid. But that particular song I relate to so much because I know Yoko Ono, I know the Beatles. No, but just the idea where you're going into this place where all these people are like they want something from you, or you think they want something for you. So that's why Garden Party, and I would go, and I recommend if Rick Nelson goes and plays, please see him live.
I think he's dead.
Oh, he died in a private plane. Who doesn't die in a private plane? You get it? Don't go. Look, I like the Big Bopper as much as anybody else. Don't go in that plane that he went in with Lou Diamond Phillips. Can you believe Lou Diamond Phillips was the La Bamba? Can you cut this out now?
Yeah, you said you were going to help.
And it was also cool. The weather was nice in New York.
Yeah.
And I did no business. No business was offered to me, but I didn't do any business. You know, like I didn't. I didn't even want to say the word like I'm saying it, but I really allowed myself to
get away with your wife to a nice wedding for the family.
Okay, now you think you said it better.
That's great.
It's great.
So you feel relaxed as a result of that?
I feel relaxed. I also bought a blue suit. I bought. I'm not just saying this.
At Jimmy O's?
No. The delight that's in your eyes when you say Jimmy O's. Every time. First of all, I know one of the salespeople there. His name is Barney.
Yeah.
Because he always said to me, think of Fred and Barney. So, and he was the sweetest guy in the world.
Think of Fred and Barney.
That's not the way he talks. Have you heard him?
No, I was just guessing. I was speculating.
I walked by TJ Maxx and I want the comic who told me that they wrote this joke. I don't know. Did they write this joke giving it to me or in the spirit of me? And the joke was, I do stand up at TJ Maxx. I'm a paid irregular. It's a good joke. That's a good. Oh, Josh, it's a good one. Do you not know that there's different sizes? I want to get immediately mad. It's my new thing.
Yeah, okay.
If things don't go on. Do you not know that there's different sizes? That it's a store of irregulars. Do you not know that, Josh?
I don't.
Oh, you did?
No, I did.
So, I do go
There's
by.
There's really only so far you can get though with outrage that someone doesn't shop at TJ Maxx. You're not going to really dent their self-esteem all that much with that tact.
Yeah, but is that me? Is that an anti TJ Maxx joke or is that just a pun? It's just a pun.
It's just a pun,
right?
But it's a crime against humanity.
The stories?
No, the joke.
I've bought a horrible phone cover there once. Every once in a while, I leave the house and I say, I'm going to buy one of the things I buy every time I leave the house and lose control. A charger that I don't need, a phone cover, something I don't need is what I want to buy.
So do you leave the house and then think of an objective? You just
no, because I love to walk around our neighborhood and try to get recognized.
Ah, okay. How's that going?
Well, the recognized part.
Hey, Andy, come on in. I'll make a suit for you.
So is that Barney? Is that what he says?
Yes.
He's not a bespoke suit maker. He puts me in a nice thing. I try to pretend that the area that I live in is delightful, and I'm kind of bored with it. I mean, as a walking up and down thing.
Sure.
I like to walk it.
Yeah.
But I much more enjoy walking by your house,
right,
where it's very pretty, and kind of being creepy about it. Here's what I do.
I'm outside Josh's house.
I walk.
He doesn't see me.
And I say, don't look over towards his house, because that would be rude. And then I kind of look over there. So I literally think that you hang out with a cup of coffee.
Right.
Do you ever look out your window?
If someone's making a ruckus.
Well, I don't. That I don't. I don't make a ruckus. But I love walking by your house.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you.
And then the TJ Maxx thing, no, the TJ, Jimmy O's, I do want to kind of go in there. It's like, but that's not where I got the suit. I got a Michael Kors suit. He's
That's nice. That's a respectable name.
Great price. I'm a Jew. I got to tell another Jew.
Okay.
It was like really amazing price, but I have a great tailor.
Ah.
And that tailor.
And that's the Jewiest thing you said.
Yes. And I'm not afraid to tell you that he charged me $200 to alter the suit.
Yeah.
And I'm not bragging about it. So then what is the reason to tell you that? It does sound like a lot of money, right? To tailor a suit. But
not enough money to make me think, well, say big spender.
That's good.
$200 on a suit. Well, now we're, woohoo.
No, that's just the tailoring.
I got it.
And it's a blue suit.
But you got the suit really cheap.
I got the suit
so
really
cheap that I could buy this super cheap and maybe sink a couple $100 worth of tailoring into it, and then I'll have something.
Yeah, it was I think it was on sale for like $200 at
Schmata World.
No, Macy's.
Ah,
I'm a 42 short. Do you know what you are?
I do.
What is it?
I'm not.
Oh, then why should you say it? What's in it for you to reveal any size that you have?
But I'm a long.
You're what?
I'm a long, not a short.
Well, that's obvious, mutt. Am I mutt or are you?
I think in this case you got to be mutt.
Jeff's taller?
I don't know, but he's cooler.
Did I tell you that that I bought the rights to the comic Sad Sack? Have I mentioned that?
Yeah,
to you?
you did.
So I went to
Why so sad?
I pitched it, and that's one of the guy at BuzzFeed. Why would I go to BuzzFeed? I pitched it over at Joyco. That's, I think, a hair product.
Okay.
And they said, does he have to be so sad?
Yeah.
Good. It never gets better, that joke.
No.
So I want to go in there. Okay, so anyway, it fits me like butter. The new suit, and it's blue. Did you ever? First of all, neither one of us are suit enthusiasts.
Right.
Do you like the way you look? I like the way I look in a suit because I think most men are going to like the way they look. Isn't that what that guy said?
That's what he used to say.
He used to go,
before he was pushed out of his own company.
How did that happen? It was a size Sperling?
They didn't like the way he looked. They didn't like.
That's the worst. That is the worst slogan I've ever heard. You know, I think you won't return it. Come to the Men's Warehouse. I think after a while you'll get used to it.
Chances are you won't bother us again.
Yes. You're going to like what you bought because you're going to feel guilty if you don't. But I have never had a blue suit. I mean, it's summertime. So I'm ready for summer events.
Nice.
And that's all.
We should rustle some up.
Well, I should be entertaining. People don't know this, but Josh lives so close to me. He's never been inside my apartment.
It's true.
This is the worst thing.
You've been here 58 times.
Yes, the worst.
Just document it. The
It's
58
unbelievable.
times.
It's unbelievable.
There's tens more than that before that.
Has not seen. Well, first of all, I'm a hoarder, which you don't know.
Right. Oh, I've suspected.
I'm not a hoarder, but just to put that thing out there. I don't want people to think that.
Right.
All right, let's get that out of your head.
Well, let's think of whatever other reasons that I've never been to Andy's house in 3 years, and he's been here 58 times in a row.
Susan says she doesn't like your kind of people. I think it means Jews.
Okay. Understood.
Hey, do you want to, after this, go to IHOB?
Do
you have any desire?
Yeah, that's clever, that IHOB.
What you are someone who, I don't say you have your finger on the pulse of commercial business, but you know about marketing. What were they thinking? That people won't eat pancakes anymore? Or that it's too cheap?
No, it's just a promotion. It's not a permanent change. It's just a promotion.
Oh.
They're trying to launch a line of burgers. That's all.
You mean it's going to go back to IHOP?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now I'm mad.
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm actually angry. Wow. I like when people go, I can make pancakes at home. That's not why you go out for breakfast. Because I will only go out to breakfast if I can find something I cannot make at home. You go out because of the convenience and to talk to Josh about the upcoming State of the Industry Address 2018 coming to a theater near you. I'm ready this time, baby.
Are you? I know you have a file in your phone.
I have a file on my phone that says.
So far, you've written, "Am I alt-right, lady?"
I think you wrote that. No, yeah, but do you know? We're going to do when are they doing the? I messed up a gig, but no one has to know about that.
Well, no, they do because we promoted it on this show.
Oh, okay. Do you need to say now that I fucked it up?
Yeah, Andy, the gig where Andy and I were opening for Jen Kirkman is now me opening for Jen Kirkman.
And the only reason why is because of my incompetence that I did not realize that I was booked to do 2 headlining shows in Huntington Beach on a Friday night. So. You're going to still do it, right?
I'm going to still do it. It's June 29th at the Improv Lab.
And then later...
it's now the Andy Kindler Roast.
You know what would be great? If I, driving down the Huntington Beach, I Skype into you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, is that a good, like a Three Stooges?
That was pretty good, yeah. Yeah, that was curly.
How would babies...
That was curly-esque.
How would babies... I forgot. What is the sound that we're making that babies
That
doing?
was baby apnea.
Look at that.
That was
now I see why they say I have a problem with my lungs. They don't really.
Damn it, Wheezy.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
There we go.
So
our trip through the 70s.
You will not be.
You do That's My Mama. I'll do the guy from Carter Country.
And I'm not the kind of person who would say go.
Hey.
I'm not the type of person who would say don't go to your gig. Come down to Huntington Beach. But we're not going to compete with each other. Who is going to leave the outside the Orange County area?
I don't think they're competing gigs at all. They're not.
That just shows you how...
but the gig that we really need to promote, and any thought spirals here in the Los Angeles area or anywhere nearby, it's July 10th at the Improv Lab, Thought Spiral Live.
Wait a second, what was that date?
That's July 10th.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my other nephew. Oh, no. I forgot.
And you didn't do well at the audition, you're saying?
Would you think, but you've told me that you don't mind my acting. So July, and by the way, if you're coming to town, what time is that show?
7 p.m. on July 10th at the Improv Lab. Go to our Twitter page. It's pinned to the top, and there's a link to tickets.
That's really cool. And I'll also be in Acme, but I don't remember the dates, but I'll be there.
Of course you don't.
Who cares?
It's in July, right?
It's in July. I felt terrible about, I'm getting better as a human being. And these are things like people learn when they were 9 or 10 years old. I would feel so guilty about double booking that I'd wait maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days. You know what I'm saying? Wait till closer.
Right.
I can't tell them now. And I got to really prepare this direct message.
Yeah.
And then I'm better. I said it was my fault, my screw up. This is the new Andy.
Well, it was. Completely.
I know, but
but that was self-evident.
I do realize, I do realize from an argument that, I don't know if we talked about the argument when me, you, and Showbiz Studios went out. We talked about it, right?
Yeah.
I realized the breakthrough I had was I'm getting defensive because I think someone's going to be saying to me, you haven't done enough in this area. And it's true. I haven't done enough in many areas.
Right.
So instead of getting defensive about it, I could say, I want to do this and I want to get better at it. As opposed to, why are you guys hocking me with questions? So to me, that's a breakthrough because that means that I'm not defending myself.
That's good. I got to say that neither option makes you seem like much fun.
What do you mean? No, but let's say you're upset. Let's say Showbiz says, you were supposed to call the guy in Syracuse. In other words, my position used to be, I'm sorry.
Okay, you go ahead.
My position used to be, I didn't call the guy in Syracuse, and I'm cool, and everyone should be cool with it. That used to be my attitude.
Right. But I don't think that's true. That would be what you presented, your attitude presented, but you'd also be feeling like people are mad at you, right?
Yeah, and then getting mad at them for being mad at me.
Right. That's always step two.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the whole problem.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't get mad at Hitler.
No, but he'd have to make you feel bad first.
If he was nice to me, I'd be just like Trump. Look,
right.
I love how Trump goes,
hey, clean slate, huh?
Clean slate. Trump goes, look, what are the odds this 26-year-old is like a 1 out of 20,000 that he could do this job? How many direct line relatives were there to his father? 2? He's claiming as if he applied for the North Korean dictator job amongst 30,000 26-year-olds. It's bloodlines, isn't it? I don't know anything about North Korea.
I don't know where you're going. Yeah, because he said that when he took it over at 26, that was like,
yeah,
he was impressed.
He goes, who could have done it?
Right, 1 out of 10,000 people.
No, 1 out of 2 or 3 of choices, right?
Right.
Because and it's got to be the son.
male offspring of the person presented as a human god to the country has the gig. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. And that's why he killed one of the uncle. I'm not saying, look, allegedly. I watched that thing. I was and what we're referring to, because by the time this comes out, we'll all be dead. But I'm referring to the summit.
I think they knew what
They knew what we were talking about. I was enraged watching it. I was literally enraged because you had, and I have these feelings about Chris Cuomo where sometimes he doesn't bother me, and sometimes it's like, I cannot believe he's interviewing Dennis Rodman, who is sobbing.
Right.
Dennis Rodman is sobbing. And you know what, Josh? I disagree with you when you said to me last night, when you called up and you were sobbing a little bit and you thought what you said was very touching, Dennis Rodman. I'm not going to feel bad for this asshole who's sobbing while he's wearing a racist hat. If you're Jewish and anti-Semitic, it's worse than being non-Jewish and anti-Semitic. I mean, it's pretty naked. I'm not talking about if I had...
You lost me at the Jew...
in other words, he's black and he's wearing a racist hat. It's worse. It's worse than a white person being... It's not, they all suck. All racists suck. I shouldn't have made a table of racists.
A racist table of racist evaluation is what you're doing there.
Did you see Cuomo with him?
I hate black racists more than white racists.
Yeah.
Black racists are the worst.
Bad enough the people who lynched. That was bad. But the black people turning against, and that will be my last lynching joke of the night. Kevin Meaney. Did you watch any of the coverage?
I did. I didn't watch a lot of Cuomo's coverage.
Well, the idea that any of these people, and even Carl Bernstein, I'm so tired of. I don't know if you can notice that I've been
noticing you yelling at a lot of news people this week. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, like, part of my mind is saying, this is not going to end well. But part of me is just like, God damn it. I'm sick of Carl Bernstein. I don't want to hear him say, I give Trump no credit for the summit. I give him enough credit. He's doing it to take away, attention from his crimes he's committed. Why would anyone give him credit for the summit? Because before he called him Rocket Man, and now he's not. But anyway, I'm beating a dead horse.
Anthony Bourdain died this week.
That was terrible. 2 people. Kate Spade died.
Right.
And I didn't even want to say the person's name because I happen to know who the person is because I know a book was written about this person, but I don't even want to say his name. He makes some horrible joke about Kate Spade. I think these people like they're like basically crying in their homes. You know, like, why would you say that? It's like, why would you say this horrible thing about her? I mean, so it was such a horrible thing he said that it was like, this is what's become. I hate to be one of those guys. This is what it's becoming, but they're upping the ante in the fact that they want to say something that will really hurt people's feelings.
Right.
And it's like,
who was this person?
Okay, should I tell you his name? I'm not going to engage with him. His name is Michael Malice.
Yeah.
Okay, and I read a book by Harvey Pekar about this guy Michael Malice, and the book depicts him as kind of a horrible person. He is a horrible person in Harvey Pekar's own account.
Right.
But he's also he's very smart.
Right.
He's interesting. And when I read the book, it was fascinating. The book about Michael Malice, which I don't know what it was exactly called. Ego and Hubris. I don't know. But then I started to, when I read that book, I wanted to maybe not follow him, but you read the book and you're reading it, you feel like sympathy or compassion for him because Harvey Pekar finds him to be an interesting character, and the parts where he's terrible, you're just kind of like not noticing that much. But then when you notice something like this happens, and should I tell you what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, they're looking for it was some joke about getting a good price on a body bag. Like a handbag.
A Kate Spade body bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck did she do to anybody? Wait, because she sold handbags?
Right. No, I think it's,
I wasn't expecting you to go, Andy. Andy?
Come on.
I'm surprised, Andy, because that's how you
it's
are.
Solid. It's pretty solid. No.
I didn't respond to him.
That's good, because what's the fucking... I assume that he was spewed upon by others.
Yeah, but and he loved it.
Of
He was
course.
like, oh, you're telling me she wasn't disgusting?
What the fuck? She was a purse designer.
He's a purse designer. And unbelievable. And then Anthony...
who made a lot of people happy.
Yeah. And she...
like enough so that I've heard of a purse designer.
Exactly. And she was... David Spade's brother was married to her.
Right.
Andy Spade. The whole thing is a tragedy. It's like if you want to talk about the capitalist system and make your point about you don't like capitalism... It's not like, okay, I'll wait till everybody who designed something dies and I'll make my point.
We don't need any more fucking humanity trolls.
That's what it is. It's like, I know I get angry and I'm worried about it. I mean, like some of the stuff, I struggle every day with Twitter because you wouldn't believe how many times I don't tweet. Like there's 90% of the garbage I used to tweet, I don't tweet anymore.
No, I believe that.
Because I realize...
Because I see what you do tweet.
Because there's something I want from the tweet to either express something or get anger out. But then there's that part where I want to I want these people to change from my anger.
That's where I go. All right. That's where I go. You're still pissing into the wind,
Yeah. And sometimes the thing is, I don't mind because 90% of the time I don't tweet it. So like if I do tweet it, I go, oh, okay, tweet. I'm not going to say I defend it or not defend it, but at least I'm not spending 3 or 4 hours more online like I was.
Right.
So I don't know how we got on that one.
Yeah, I don't think that any of your tweets spark introspection.
Oh, you mean like I don't tweet? Occasionally when I feel like a saint or like Mother Teresa,
all right,
I will craft my tweets. Like I hate Nicholas Kristof.
Right.
I hate him like poison from the whole Woody Allen thing. So and I had to restrict what?
Boy.
I'm not going to bring it up again. What was that face about?
Because I don't.
Okay, I won't even argue against that face. But I really wanted to. He had tweeted, "Oh, the Democrats are acting so childish about the trip to North Korea." 2 days later, he's like, he got hoodwinked on the trip to North Korea. So I do want to yell at people like that, and I do want to yell at them in an extreme way, but I don't know what purpose it serves.
Right.
It does. A lot of people do say to me that they really like how angry I am and that I speak for them. Not like I'm a god, but that I can express things in an angry way. sometimes that they enjoy. So I think it's okay sometimes.
No, I think there are people who are fans of it, obviously, you know, and I think, if I wasn't such a close friend, I might just be purely entertained by it as well. Cause, you know, there is a certain, Harvey Picarness about it. There's a certain
curmudgeon thing.
Yeah. It's part of your character. I was talking to Jake Johansson today, and he, you know, and I mentioned you on Twitter.
He's slamming me too?
No, he just said that's his brand, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sort of almost like Brother Theodore.
Right.
In its wackiness sometimes. Because it's so angry. There's so much vitriol in it. And that's why as a friend I'm like, oh, that's an ugly emotion from my friend Andy. I feel a little bad that he's sitting in his house feeling that.
That's true. But the other part of it is that sometimes I just want to, it's all degree, because sometimes I want to say, like, the one thing I was not very proud of, but like this whole self-congratulation amongst the journalists, like how great they're doing with this. Right. And then you forget that these people spent their time back. They helped Hillary lose and Trump win the election. And they did it for their own purposes, to make money. Like that guy, Jonathan Allen, to make money. He's a columnist, and he wrote a book slamming Hillary. So it's okay that I'm saying these things, but I can definitely feel like I have therapy tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel I want to go in there, because she always says to me, "What do you think you're getting from it?"
Right.
And I have to admit that sometimes I'm in a very sour mood from it, and I'm afraid to even go on Twitter.
Right.
That's not so that I know that it's like not good. I mean, not good, bad, whatever. It's not helping me.
I guess my resistance to it is just on a weird sort of almost
social level,
karmic level almost. Karma is the wrong word, but I just mean in terms of like energy you put into the world invites similar energy back towards you.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So
that's why I feel crummy. If I'm afraid to go on Twitter, I'm feeling crummy.
Right.
And I would go further to say that it's the thing that you're saying about karma. One of my heroes is Alan Watts, and what he says is that the actual Sanskrit or wherever karma comes from is, it's not like if you.
I don't believe that that's what karma is, by the way.
No. Yeah. What you're saying though is karma in the fact that I'm miserable. In other words, it's really what Alan Watts says is you're doing karma. Literally means you do it.
Yeah.
So you're doing it to yourself. Right. I absolutely believe that's how I look at karma. If I'm miserable about these people, I'm doing it to myself at some point.
Right.
You know? So, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this new, you're right, Josh character.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not bad, though.
It's not a comedy device.
Did that throw you off at all? You know what, Josh?
A little disorienting.
It is, right? Because you expect the look on my face. I wish I could have bottled the look of your face when I said Woody Allen. And that's how I know it's unhealthy, because sometimes I do ponder tweeting things that I should not tweet, because it's just going to make me miserable.
Right.
And you know what it's about? Here's what it's really about, and I think you could relate to this. I have an opinion about Woody Allen or all these people. I am entitled to my opinion. And I don't think that I believe that I'm entitled to it. In other words, I don't believe
you're entitled to that opinion either, really. But
what's that?
You're steadfast and 100% defensive.
No, 100%. I have never said I wasn't there that day.
But that's the only concession you make.
But the evidence. Okay, I won't get into the evidence. Why would you? There's no evidence that ever happened. And in fact, there's evidence that it was manipulated. That's the evidence from it, from the original, when they tried to take him to trial, just like James Comey. When James Comey.
Do you know what the evidence is, or you just know that they didn't prosecute?
I know, because I've read every article about it.
Okay, but do you know that everything has been made public in articles?
In Vanity Fair, that only article that they tried to destroy him with was the Vanity Fair article, which is riddled with lies. And Moses, why is nobody saying Moses? Why don't anybody defending Moses' point of view? He was abused by Mia Farrow, he says. And that's the end of the discussion.
And where's the evidence of that?
What?
The evidence that Moses was abused by.
Would I try Mia Farrow in a court? It's my opinion. I don't know what happened. What are the numbers on our podcast with the Woody Allen argument?
They're tumbling.
But here's what I say. Regardless of this, regardless of what you feel, I need to be able to have my opinion. And if I'm getting upset about it, it's because I'm allowing other people to erode my right to have an opinion. Some woman told me when I argued about Woody Allen once, she says, you're arguing about it so hard, I'm starting to wonder about you. I can't allow that. I know who I am as a person. I'm a good person.
Right.
So I don't. So my stridency in general is based on trying to convince other people like you that I'm a good person.
Right.
And that's Nowheresville, man. That's not the new Andy Kindler.
Uh-oh.
You're worried about the new Andy Kindler, but he's so positive.
If he stops wanting to please me, then there's no use for it.
Well,
new Andy Kindler.
Well, the reason why. Well, because you're a devil's advocate in the best sense of the word.
Well, thank you.
You know? But I mean, you really are. I sometimes get so emotional, I go, I can't see the other side. You're good at seeing the other side to things.
I would say if anything, I err on the side of seeing both sides.
Perfect.
So Anthony Bourdain, I wanted to just talk about that because that made me sad.
That was so sad.
Yeah. And it was, I watched a couple shows after, and it was just like even sadder, just because his show is so much about, the right way to live life, essentially.
Right.
And he's such a role model for how you want to be when you go to anywhere,
Right. Exactly.
So, and then I found myself, I was watching an episode where someone was like telling him a really depressing story. It was like a drug addict episode, and I started to get mad at the person for depressing.
It's interesting because I used to have mixed feelings about him because he at one point was like, had said something like maybe heavy kids need to be bullied more. I mean, he has very harsh views about certain things.
Yeah.
But you can't watch his show and not see all these different sides that he has.
Right.
And so I always had a problem with the narration on the show because it started to get like sing song. But then when someone dies and I realize that I probably let my judgmentalness get in the way a lot from enjoying somebody. But I
thought his narration in general was very well written and not sing songy, really.
No, I think the way he said it was sing-songy.
Yeah.
Ba 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 da da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da. I'll go to my grave on that line, and I think who cares about my opinion? But it was profoundly sad, and why do you think it was really, really sad?
Well, I think it's sad. I mean, the shock is what makes you go, if so-and-so can't be happy, how can I be happy?
Right.
If someone who so seemed to have the secret to enjoying life and connecting with people and always exploring and always, if that can't break through depression, then there's a hopelessness that comes along with that, I think. And I think, and it's also like a very stark reminder that everyone is fucking broken, and everyone, you never know what pain someone's in, and everyone stores it differently, He wasn't a guy who walked around with evident pain necessarily.
Right.
He walked around with some evident anger, it seems, and he had talked about his depression and,
And he seemed arrogant at times, but now you see how much more sense. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did.
Yeah.
But he's not. It's like I thought of him as arrogant, so I didn't see the. But then when you watch the show, he's very vulnerable in so many ways.
Right.
In the show, I'm sorry.
And just fully connected with people.
Yeah.
And there's a great David Simon wrote a really great piece about him on his blog. It's worth reading.
I have to read that.
If you care about Bourdain, it's a really nice portrait of his relationship with Bourdain.
I want to read that because the thing too is like, I also said to myself, and this is kind of silly in a way, like, how could someone who goes to these places, he's eating raw chicken, he's going into the middle of the forest, he's like going on like I would be depressed at the news I had to go on one of these trips. Right. So I would think that someone like him, he could definitely deal with feeling bad one day, but that's because I have never been suicidal, so I don't understand it. I don't understand it in terms of I'm thinking about it in an incorrect way. Why
Right.
would, yeah.
That's that, and that's sort of, that kind of displays the difference between feeling bad and depression.
Yes.
They're different messages being sent into your brain,
And that's why when people get very mad, like, he had a family, or not just Anthony Bourdain or whatever, how could he leave behind? It's like, how much pain must these people be in that couldn't sustain them? That their pain was so much that even that they had love for their kids.
Well, and there were interviews with him where he talked about, his kid being the thing that keeps him around, and you go, well, and then you start to go, oh no, that was the only thing keeping him around. And so he hit some point one night where that wasn't enough,
The only thing I feel differently about him is I didn't see him as a happy person. Like I saw him as, like I loved when he would always go to these countries, and he would, he was always interested in what's the political thing. He had a very inquisitive mind, but I didn't know that. I didn't see him as like.
Well, I didn't see him happy in terms of cheerful.
Right.
But I saw him as someone who was like stridently striving to make his life interesting.
Right, but
and doing, really great work on that show. It was a really interesting show.
Yeah, it was great. It was.
And it was a really unique show, and it was, and as a production, they did an amazing job of not making the same show every week. So he was doing good work, and
they had no gimmicks in that's the other thing too. They had no gimmicks in that show. Like one of the people who reacted was his French, is it French or his Italian friend?
Eric Ripert.
Yeah. So I remember
That's who discovered him.
He discovered
Anthony Bourdain's body. They were together in France.
Are you kidding?
No.
And that guy, I've always loved that guy, and I've seen episodes where they deal with his relationship with him.
Yeah.
Is he also a chef?
He's a great chef, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I've never eaten his food, but he's regarded as a great chef.
I think I saw an
and
episode.
He posts good-looking, tasty pictures.
Wasn't there an episode where they took a fish they weren't supposed to fish for, and like because they was endangered or something, but may have been another guy, not that French guy. I remember they ripped the fish apart and.
Don't know.
I don't know. And obviously, it sounds like a cliche or whatever to wonder why people do what they do that. I have to say, I know people who have felt that way. I have never particularly felt that I couldn't go on.
No.
Have you?
I've never had a true suicidal thought. I've had, as a kid, I had over dramatic fantasies of it, but never like, the fantasy of what do they think then?
That's exactly
what
right.
I mean?
Yeah.
It was never.
Oh, they'll miss me now.
Right. Exactly. But I don't think I've ever felt time to go.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm better for not having felt it. I feel lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm absolutely
Me too.
lucky. Yeah. It's like I suffer from anxiety, but it'd be really hard. I think it's like one of the most difficult things when people, because so much it must be so much brain chemistry to it.
Yeah.
As well. That not that we understand the chemistry, but like you could tell yourself be happy, and something in you is really dark.
Yeah, and it's a louder voice than everything.
That was a shock. I don't know why that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know why it was a shock, because I think we've covered why it was a shock.
Right.
But now I do want to watch more of his shows, but then I probably won't watch as much as I claim to want to.
Well, you can just pick a place. That's what's cool about.
Well, I loved the Vietnam one with
Obama.
Obama, and I love the one he goes into these countries that are having problems in a way, and he's kind of like
there's some journalism involved. Yeah. I mean, it was weird. I was also noticing that, like, when I think of his show, I think of watching his show in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
But which is weird. It's like watching him travel makes you feel at home. almost, you know.
But now that I'm thinking of it, the thing that he was doing that he became great at, maybe he didn't enjoy the process. I mean, maybe that was a very hard process on him.
No, I don't think.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think you can draw that straight a line. No.
Oh, I'm just asking.
I get the impression from all the things I read.
He loved to do those things.
That he was very driven to keep doing it.
Because all I can see is myself on those things. I'm not going to eat a raw chicken.
Right. See, that kind of thing actually sounds. I mean, I've kind of done it, and I haven't done that, but I did a travel doc, you know, to the Far East, so it wasn't. It was in the same realm of things, and it was really fun to have a mission and to have a producer who's setting things up. You know, like that to me, like going on those trips where I'm being guided from place to place.
Yeah.
Like meet us in the lobby at 8 and we're going to drive you to this thing.
That's pretty cool.
Like I could totally get into that, you know?
You're bringing up something that I really often feel, like I say to myself, I could never be in a war or sign up for a war.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe I couldn't. But when you're like, I've noticed when like I say covering something for Letterman or something, whatever the event is, you get into the thing of covering it and you kind of have
a sense of mission
and less fear about it.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see that.
Oh,
kind
absolutely.
Of thing.
I truly can't believe that I fucking directed 2 movies in Asia.
Right.
It's just, it's
that was a little Dennis Miller there.
It's
Asia. I did 2 movies in Asia. I went to Singapore, Chinchy.
It's amazing.
But it's, yeah. And it's so,
it's daunting.
It's daunting in retrospect.
Yeah.
You know?
It's daunting. Yes. It's daunting in retrospect. But
it wasn't as daunting planning it because it was part of the mission, you know? I had a mission, but looking back, I went, holy shit, I directed a movie in Asia, you know? And there were times when I was there going, holy shit, I'm directing a movie in Asia.
Like you were scared about it a little
bit?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I wasn't scared of, I wasn't scared.
I guess, no, you have to say.
I wasn't actually.
I get scared.
Yeah, I wasn't actually scared, but it was like, there was a lot of pressure of like, am I going home with hard drives that add up to a movie?
Right.
You know?
And
I'm going home with a lot of data, but I don't know if it's a movie.
Oh, that's always frightening. And it's always like I used to tell Susan when she would shoot on film, that photos on film, that I would hate to have to wait like 24 hours to see if I bombed.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't know. So that's always got to be like, that's very, me, I'm less that way, but that's a very OCD. How do we gonna know the tapes got back? What if I could get into that mode for like, and not get out of it sometimes.
Right.
But normally I'm getting better at things like, I'm actually okay at things I can't control, like flying in a plane.
Right.
But like sometimes I hear, like when I heard about you going on that trip, I have a lot of fear about things I did, like when I first went around New York City for Comedy Central. And I just remember all day long worrying that I might have to use a bathroom. You know,
Yeah.
And so it's like I think I do put a lot of trips on myself that I met. I wonder if it would get better if you did it more, but I mean, like, also you do have to be careful sometimes. One time they promoted this show to me because you know sometimes in show business they don't care if you die, right. So this show
Pogo
was
stick.
What's that?
Pogo stick.
Exactly. So they were saying this show was we're going to go to the 8 countries that the United States says you shouldn't go to.
Okay.
Right. And
the do not travel list.
Yeah, do that travel list. I would want to be a team player sometimes, and so in other words, I always want to be protective, not to get myself into something stupid.
Right. Yeah. No, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's a stupid trip. But would you do a tour of USO things?
I don't think I would right now.
No, I would do that.
I know you would do that. Why do you think that I wouldn't do it?
I think we're back to the whole coward thing. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that because it's one of my things like.
Your word, not mine.
No, but it's like when I see Louis Black, he's gone there so many times.
Yeah.
Kathleen Madigan. It's like, I am scared of going into a war zone and being killed.
I am more scared of the shows than I am of the danger, I would say, a USO tour. Like, I don't know how well my
Oh,
act
that
would do.
I would be very... no, that would be
I would
just
I
as
would be
scary.
I would be willing to go take a crack,
Right.
and I would write some shit that I thought would work.
No, but I would be definitely... I wouldn't want to go... I wouldn't want to perform.
Yeah, but I would totally do it, though.
But why do you say you want to do it? Because to be better than me, in a way?
Well, how hard is
That's
that?
easy.
No, I would. I mean, I would do it because I think it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, but can I do things that are cool? Like a Big
We
Brother?
sent Cinematic Titanic DVDs to Iraq, and they watched them in one of Saddam's palaces.
That's great, but you didn't have to go to Iraq.
because one of our group wouldn't.
Oh, really?
Some of us were willing to go do a show. Yeah,
You would have gone.
the people with kids who didn't really want to go.
Okay, that's what I was going to say a couple seconds ago. I think I'm also scared to put myself in a position to risk my life, and then my wife wouldn't have me.
Right.
I mean, not that she's thrilled with me,
Right.
but she could get sad. So that's what I absolutely do think. Is this, is this risk worth me dying, possibly dying for it?
Right, but it's a
And-
pretty measured risk, really.
How do you figure?
Well, I mean-
I'm totally scared of these USO things. Every time they always go, oh yeah, one night this happened, one night that happened.
Right.
No, I want nothing to
But are
happen.
any of those stories? One night I got killed.
Well, those people, you never hear their
Glenn
stories.
Miller, he's the last one.
You just it's the whole. I have to separate that the whole. If I was, well, what if Letterman? This is one of these things like, what if Letterman wanted to?
Right.
Because I don't know if he goes. I think he has gone.
I don't know.
And I say, well, if Letterman wanted to do it, I would do it. I mean, all the reasons why I would do it.
You would do it for star fucking, but not for patriotism.
Yeah, it's
okay.
terrible. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. But I want everybody
I
to
mean,
know.
I'd want to be on one of the good USO tours.
Well, I just want everybody to know that I am not against. I am for the troops.
Right.
And I would want them. I'm not against them being entertained. But I could do a Skype thing with them.
As Bill Hicks so wonderfully said, I
Yep.
find myself in the unenviable position of being for the war, but against the troops.
He was great. Yeah. You just happen to bring up something that frightens me.
Yeah.
I do think about it.
Yeah. It's never come up for me, so, but I would say yes, I would.
Or even, I think of like when...
Unless my wife said I couldn't.
Did she say that?
I said unless she said I couldn't. Then
What do you think she would say?
I think she'd let me, but I think she'd be worried.
Well, I did the show for TNT.
I think she'd be surprised I'd want to.
I think everyone's surprised, and I don't think anyone believes it on a certain level. But I had I had a movie wraparound show for TNT, and we were wrapping around Top Gun. So they said so they wanted us to go to an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I've told the story before, but I was like, they're watching Top Gun. They're not impressed that we're going to be on an aircraft carrier at home. But they kind of like lied to me. They said it's like landing on a lake. It's like we landed on the. He goes, it's like landing like softly on the lake. That was a lie. I was in a C-130, which is a cargo plane. I was strapped in backwards. What's that guy Forbes' name?
Malcolm?
No,
Steve?
Steve. He was on the plane, so I would have gotten no press
Yeah.
if we went down. And it goes from 3 million miles an hour to 0.
Right.
And there's a tail hook.
Right.
And then they drop you off. Now you're on a ship with your stomach grumbling.
I had no idea. You've never told this story. I didn't know you had landed on an aircraft carrier before.
So that made me suspicious because they absolutely, like, they didn't want Susan, like, they hand delivered the details because they figured if Susan saw it, she would object to me going because she would defend me. And she did object to me going, and they, and she knew they were kind of like, this is a whole story, but they really did kind of like,
Trick you?
trick me.
Yeah.
Not really, because I think I knew they were lying to me. So I must have been, how's it landing on the lake?
Have you ever landed on a lake? It slows down very quick.
I don't even know why they're using that excuse. So, don't let people rip you off, man. No?
That's your tip off
are
to
you-
a rip off. I'm David Horowitz.
You know who you would be surprised is that they did commit suicide, though? Wouldn't you, even more than, well, not even more than Anthony Hauser, right? He's just fantastic.
That would be fantastically sad.
Yeah. If you heard he committed suicide, that would, in a way, be even more disturbing. Because he seemed to be having such a great time. Lou, you think because he got mad?
I don't know. I would actually be less shocked by Hauser than Anthony Bourdain. Because his enthusiasm, like Anthony Bourdain.
It's infectious.
Anthony Bourdain never slapped on, like feigned enthusiasm. Hauser, he was giving a little lutz a lot of the time.
Did we quote that line that someone sent in?
Yes.
Well, if you're speaking Spanish and I'm speaking English, how are we gonna order a mariachi band? I can get his voice sometimes, but mostly not.
No.
He's fantastic. It's amazing. You're a midwife. So you let the babies come out, and you're helping to come out. Lou, are you getting this? Mr. Rogers, I could have seen, because I couldn't stand Mr. Rogers. I never understood the appeal to him. He just boring.
Yeah, it bugged me. It bugged me always when I was a kid.
Right.
And I was a kid when it.
I was a kid too.
No, you weren't.
Why do you say that?
Because he came on in like 1969 or 68.
How was I not a kid?
You were 13.
Wasn't that the age it was meant for? Here's me trying to defend an untenable position. Oh, yeah, what makes you so sure?
It really bothered me when I was stoned watching in my dorm room.
I think he really bothered me because at my age, I hated him.
So patronizing.
Yeah, I hated him. So maybe if I seen him when I was 3, I'd be like,
no, I saw him when I was that age.
Okay,
and it was a total turnoff. It bothered me that he came in and changed his shoes. Like, just that bothered me.
So did it make you
like what why didn't you just change your shoes before the show?
and so you never watched him then, or you did watch him?
Well, I'd watch him. But I hated him. I hated that the puppets' mouths didn't move. I hated it. It was all, yeah. It just seemed like shit to me.
Who liked him besides the parents?
Well, I think people who needed love liked him. I wasn't like light on love and self-acceptance.
You call love someone who comes in and changes their shoes immediately? And now they're a loving? It's creepy.
I found him creepy.
But they said he was a very nice person for real, I think.
I think he was.
Isn't there a movie coming out?
There is. That people are very excited and touched by.
But the song, you know his theme song?
Yeah.
It stinks.
It sucks, yeah.
Would you be mine? He's talk singing, isn't he? Is that the song? Hello, friend.
Won't you be? Please won't you be?
Oh, God.
My neighbor. Hi, neighbor.
I hate him. I hate him more now that everyone's starting to like him again. But I have to admit that I liked.
But you like Soupy Sales, so.
I did love Soupy Sales.
Exactly.
But did I love Soupy Sales, or do I remember him from the highlights? I used to see him because he'd go,
Did you send him $1?
No. But I did send a lot of, were you too young to have sent box tops and things? I sent box tops away.
I never sent box tops, but I remember that.
Because I could see the young Josh Weinstein, 4 years old. This is ridiculous.
I don't need this trick.
Gentlemen, I am writing to you because in response to your recent campaign where you are trying to sell a cheap plastic whistle for 500 box tops and $2. This is unacceptable.
Here's my proof of purchase.
Hey, here's my proof of... Hey, you want me to turn it up? Here's my proof of purchase. Wow, we're rolling today.
We're rolling. Should we take a break and go? What should we do? Should we do music again today?
But I'm not. I haven't been bringing it. It has to always be you to bring it, right? Because I have.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love the music
from my family.
I love the music.
I'm going back to me this week.
Let's go back to you.
Should we do? Let me look. Do you want a weird a cappella thing, or do you want a heartfelt ballady thing?
Heartfelt ballady.
All right.
I'm not putting down your a cappella thing.
It's pretty cool, though.
Now, am I going to be allowed to get high during the break?
Yeah, but you can't talk about it.
Okay, so take that out. Oh yeah, because that's so boring. You know, I'm starting to see your why you hate stoner humor. It's fucking boring. Hey man, I got so fucking high last night. I was hungry.
So this song, this is the thing. This recording is weird because it is. I did it entirely on an airplane, on an iPad. It was all GarageBand. It's all instruments. I wrote the song
on a plane.
On a plane. Everything was recorded on a plane except for the vocal, which I did through the iPad earphones as soon as I got home.
Right, but everything else.
The song is about when I was cleaning out my parents' house after they both died, and I kept finding myself hanging out in the basement because it was the only place I didn't feel depressed. Because it was the place I always hung out when I was a kid. And
did it make you happy?
It didn't make me happy, but it made me feel like they could still be upstairs. You know?
There's what?
They could still be upstairs because I was sitting down there. That was where I always hung out as a kid, as a teenager, was in that spot. So I was gravitated back towards that spot. So this is that demo that I made on the plane, and it's called.
And I may or may not. I say I smoke, but maybe I'm not going to smoke.
Maybe not. We'll see what happens when we come back. This is called 7 Steps Down.
7 steps down, though there's no one else around. It's the one place I can stand to be alone. 7 steps down. Yeah, when I come to town, it's the only place I still feel at home. 7 steps down, when I think I'm gonna drown in the flood of memories swirling above. 7 steps down, carpeted in brown. It's an ugly color that I've come to love. Yeah, I'll be down there where nothing ever changed and not a thing's been rearranged since before everyone went away. Yeah, I'll be down there staring at the ceiling, trying to recapture a feeling that grows fainter with each passing day. 7 steps down, yeah, we're going underground, where you can't tell if it's night or day. 7 steps down, yeah, my heart begins to pound every time I try to go the other way. 7 steps down. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'll be down there where nothing's ever changed and not a thing's been rearranged since before everyone went away. Yeah, I'll be down there staring at the ceiling, trying to conjure up a feeling that grows fainter with each passing day. 7 steps down, though there's no one else around. It's the one place I can stand to be alone. 7 steps down, yeah, we're going underground to the only place I still feel at home.
That song is, first of all, First of all, that song, that makes me cry, cough and cry. I never heard your voice like that. You have a great voice, but when you went into that like falsetto thing or whatever, or like a
the fake solo section.
Well, first of all, you can't be the evaluator of your. I mean, ultimately, you're always going to hear things that bother you or about your own thing. It's
Well, I'm not going to be so fake modest that, I mean, obviously I just played it for our thing.
Right.
But it's also, when I hear it, I go, maybe that was a little too solemn. Maybe
so I was wondering, when you said that, was it because you were wondering what I was thinking, or was it because you were wondering, oh, it's too much of a downer? What were you thinking?
I'm thinking, boy, I just put myself out on a big limb with several thousand people who are listening.
and first of all, that is extremely. The whole thing is brave. I'll tell you why the whole thing is brave. It's not like Seth MacFarlane. Okay, I don't want to hear his. I don't care about his goddamn crooning. Why does he have to be a crooner? You know, I get angry about it. I've never heard.
Is it because he wants to have it all?
He wants to have it all.
Yeah.
And then he says Oprah shouldn't be president. Yeah, but he should be a crooner, right? So he's shoving that down our throat.
I'm not even calling false equivalency on that.
He's shoving it down our throat. You're not saying, if you came in next week and said, Andy, I think we're going to need to go with a 50-50 music.
Music
You
to
know what
talk.
I mean?
We're changing our format.
We're doing this like in the most cliche type of way. This is our clubhouse. This is our show. I just couldn't describe it in a good way, so I said cliche.
Uh-huh.
But it's like this. It's like I want to make songs and I want to bring songs in. I don't want people to get scared that there's going to be a major movement towards.
Right.
Hey, everybody, excuse me, if you could go online right now while you're listening to the podcast.
This is the watercolor. Why am I doing this voice? This is watercolor I did in 1993. I was crazy about permanent magenta. See,
Right.
I could see
That's what I'm worried about.
Right. But we have decided we're not marketing geniuses. We didn't decide, yeah. We're going to do one of your heartfelt songs for the rest of our lives. Unless someone listening to that is thinking that, it's not going to happen.
No.
So it's not self-indulgent, because this is where we're trying to be not self-indulgent. We're saying, here, I have a song. I have a thing.
Right.
Okay. So yes, people have been emailing me. They are telling me they're fast forwarding. Yes, I get a lot of emails saying, why?
Right.
Why do we have, is it, but the thing I was going to say was like, you could tell you introduced the song a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I know with the songs, like I wouldn't maybe linearly or technically know by listening to it the first time what it was.
Right.
But having known what it was, it really was heartfelt to me. And the thing I want to tell you is like my whole life, I've wanted to be able to sing in upper registers nobody should get frightened, but I've wanted to sing certain things, but I have been so afraid of sounding foolish, and
Yeah.
I'm forcing myself. If I'm in a shower, or if I'm in an open area where there's not other people, I'm forcing myself to project my voice. I refuse to sing like I've been singing my whole life, which is, I hope you accept my voice.
Right.
And I hope I don't go too far in any direction that would be obnoxious. And here you go. I don't think that's not the way I want to sing, and I want to change that. And so when you did that thing where your voice went up, right? There was a lot of vulnerability there, you know, and it sounded great.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And you could feel the pain in your voice.
It's the most sincere song I ever wrote, for sure.
That's real. So, do you write many like?
I
things?
rarely use my own actual emotions in songs.
So you're like a Randy Newman type. I don't know what I'm
kind
talking
of without the skill and
You see
without the craft.
Here's the difference between me and you. Okay.
And there's only one, so listen closely.
Here it is. I just write it down.
Right.
Before I start a painting, before I start a song, before I write a joke, I say to myself, this could be the greatest song ever written, the greatest painting ever painted, and the greatest joke ever told. That's what I say going in. And that's actually good, but the downside of it is thinking that you have to write a masterpiece or that other people have to think you're great.
Right.
That's what poisoned my whole attempt to be a professional musician. I can never stop thinking what the other people would be thinking about this song. I don't do that with jokes.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, I think you're capable of writing. I would never say, "Hey, you're like Bob Dylan. You're so prolific," but you can write a great song.
Well, thank you.
God damn it!
Well, we're waiting on your next bring.
This is getting me so excited. And again, people shouldn't get scared.
I'm taunting you into bringing something because it's going to, it's going to keep going Weinstein, McLeod, and it's going to start stinging soon.
Is this the way the court case about the publishing went?
Weinstein, McLeod.
God. I'm so proud of the sophistication of that horribly mediocre thing. I mean, me, but I may have. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I may have smoked some pot in the break.
I think the cough coming back told the tale.
But you know what else too? That my basement is the same thing as your basement is to you. And my brother and I would play like we had a coat hanger, and we'd play like with a ball, and we played basketball down there.
Yeah.
And there were like a couple of rooms down there, and they were musty, and so I really have that. Excuse me. I have that same thing. Now my mother's still alive, but I have that exact same thing.
Yeah.
About my basement. And did I ever tell you the time that I went down to smoke pot and I came up and my father? I'm going to tell the story. If I've told it before, you're hearing it for the second time.
Right.
I had smoked pot in the basement. I walked back into the kitchen, and my father came up from behind me and said, "Do you think I'm an idiot, Andy?" So I immediately thought that he had smelled the pot.
Yeah.
And I started to get so scared, and I said to him, No, you're not an idiot. And then you're a very, 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 you're an intelligent man, in fact. And then he says, because some people might think I'm an idiot being married to your mother all these years.
Really?
I literally couldn't believe it. He had not smelled anything. And
from then on, I thought he was an idiot.
He one time asked if there was pot smoking when there wasn't, and then he missed it when I could smell it.
Yeah.
That was great, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a hell of a story. Let's get into questions, or we'll be here for 3 days. Guy Incognito. Hi, Andy.
Well, that's not the way you want people to listen to this segment. You need to build the segment up like this is what is it called? You were on one of these shows.
Yeah.
A department?
What department? Yeah.
Yeah, when Greg Kinnear, give me an example of a Greg Kinnear department.
The video log that opened the show.
What was that?
That was where we would show. It was much like you'd see on the Daily Show later, after, where we'd go news clips and then show a news clip and then comment on it.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know where I was going with my comment.
All right. Guy Incognito says, "Hi, Andy and Josh. Can I please hear Vin Scully color commentate the Trump Kim Jong-un summit?"
Well, you're not going to hear from me, but I would love to.
This summit is brought to you by Farmer John's Summit Sausage. You can't have a summit without Farmer John's. There's two very big narcissists entering the red carpet area. They seem to be shaking hands. They're both very small-handed men. Apparently, he thought this summit would make him a big world leader. Anything but.
What?
Summit sausage. Come on.
Oh my God! When you said Summit, like summer sausage,
Yeah.
and then you turn it into
And I went, oh.
Summit sausage.
Yes.
And you don't want to see and you don't, how would Alex Jones say? You don't want to see that sausage. I can't do anybody. But how does he say? You don't want to see that sausage being made? False flag.
What?
They always talk about false flags.
Oh, right.
Sandy Hook was a false flag.
False flag. I thought you said false flag. I don't know.
Stop virtue signaling me.
What?
Do you hear people use this?
What are you, a social justice warrior?
That one I kind of understand, but
I don't know.
but I know what they're saying with the virtue. No, they're saying like, hey, here's what they say. What people do all the time. And I don't know if you know this, but I think that black people are equal to white people. If you
That'd be the most naked virtue signaling.
Yeah. Hey, I was out for a couple of weeks. I wasn't feeling well, but in case anybody asked, I'm not a racist.
Kenny Loggins III.
Okay.
I listened to this show on my way to work on Monday. Can you remind me to pick up milk next week via the podcast?
But what does he forget to
Kenny,
do?
take the day off from work. I want you to go to your nearest pot store, and it could be in a neighboring state even. But I need you to go and forget the milk. I need you to take a day for yourself, Kenny.
Are you talking to Kenny Loggins III?
I am. He's on
that's
he's
cool.
on his way to work. I don't think this is the right day for him to go to work.
Yeah,
I think something bad will happen if he goes to work. In fact.
See, people come to me for the true comfort, and I say, all he wants to be reminded is to pick up the milk, and you turn it into a philosophical thing. I can't do what kind of comedy is it where the duo goes after each other?
The combative, the funny kind, the funny duo.
Mom always liked you best, Josh.
You know, you're right, and I feel terrible about that.
I think that's my joke. You're repeating my joke back to me.
Perush says, you guys pitched Five-ish Finkel as Sandy Koufax in the Yom Kippur World Series movie. Why not Finkel as the rabbi instead? Because Perush, it was an improv bit.
Wait,
we're not going to go back and fix an improv bit from 30 shows ago.
Refresh my memory.
It's from a long time ago. In fact, he's brought this up before.
Was it about Sandy?
Perush,
was it
you can't punch up an improv bit.
Was it my classic Sandy Koufax getting yelled at in a supermarket on the Sabbath for not pitching? Hey, I'm an Orthodox Jew. All right, I'm sorry. Hey, make sure none of this, everything from after the first 20 minutes to now, none of it.
Right. And we're back for minute 21 of Thought Spiral. Dana Schwartz writes in, last week Andy sang a song about one of the letter's writers. I have proof that I've known him longer, but I never got a song. Of course, that night I talked more to Susan than him, but I still never got a song. And then there's a picture of him and you in Austin, I guess. Dana Schwartz.
Yeah. But did he ever? Yeah. So am I supposed to be writing a song?
I think
Dana.
He's referring to the Yoshi Yamamoto theme.
Yoshi Yamamoto. Hey, Yamamoto.
The love theme from Yoshi Yamamoto.
Hello, Dana. Dana Schwartz.
Yeah, I think that's all he deserves.
Harvey.
And Sheila Harvey. And Sheila Harvey. And Sheila.
A kid at
the day they met.
Hey, a kid at the wedding started to sing me some of the Alan Sherman songs.
Oh, yeah?
And I realized that I really don't know the greatest hits. I know My Son, the Folk Singer, right? That's all I know is every song on that album.
Yeah. So, oh boy.
My Zelda.
My Zelda.
My Zelda. And what
My Zelda, she took the money and ran with the tailor. Members of Hadassah. My Zelda.
I can't believe there was a time period where it was charming to be a Jew. Can you believe it?
I learned so much from Alan Sherman records when I was a kid. Looking back, I realized that, I learned so much about all the different kinds of laughs there are.
Oh, from hearing the people
listening,
laugh.
Yeah, listening to his record.
Because it's live.
It was live, and it was there was every kind of laugh. There was recognition laughs. There was real, belly laugh. There was anticipatory laugh. I know this rhyme is coming up. And you look back, and it's it's really interesting because I have it on my iPod, so it shuffles in with my shit.
Right.
And so I'll hear those songs fairly frequently, and it was an interesting.
What else did he bring to the table?
He was funny. I mean, but it was also, as a kid, it was like I couldn't believe that Jew played like that.
No. Well, that's
and it was it was 20 years in the past or less than that, but 15 years in the past.
I think if I was a little kid, I wouldn't know to not know that.
Right, but I was in Minnesota, so already being Jewish in Minnesota was you knew that wasn't the norm.
Right. Right.
And my parents had Jewish friends, but I also knew that we did not live in a Jewish world.
I had something else to say, and I'm doing better at not revealing every time I've lost my place. And the truth is, here's this character I'm doing, Josh. I'm thinking about doing it on future podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm running it by you now.
Okay.
And be honest with me, okay?
I'm there.
All right, the guy from Northern Exposure, Fleischer, what was his name? Rob Morrow?
Yeah.
You know the kind of acting he did?
Yeah.
So this is what I would be like. Yeah, man. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Okay. I apologize. Because you know what? I thought I had an impression. Shouldn't you have an impression first?
I think that generally that's how you.
I can't remember.
You establish an impression and then find, a bad backdoor into it.
Because he used to go.
And you found the backdoor before the impression.
Well, because he used to go. He would pretend that he would use the acting of searching for words,
right,
as acting. Why? But now I can't remember what it sounded like. But I bet you could. I bet you could do a nice Rob Morrow from Northern Exposure.
I can't do a Rob Morrow.
All right, you see. And I think we should make.
But speaking of stammering, did I tell you I did? I talked to Jake Johansson today on the other podcast, which was fun.
Oh, and I told you to never bring up the other podcast or something?
No, you didn't.
I haven't seen him in years.
I hadn't either. I middled for him when I was 17 years old. So 30 years. It's been, I think, since our last long conversation.
I'm ready to tell you now that I did once middle for, insert the name, Eichmann something. What would be something funny that I would have middled for back in Germany? Goebbels? Josh, I feel like if I'm going to admit it, I'll admit it now. There's something I haven't told you about World War II.
What's that, Andy?
I middled for Albert Speer? No.
Yeah.
Right. I'll come back to later if I have something. Hey, don't Perush me. Don't Perush me.
Well, yeah, why don't you go back and put Lenny Riefenstahl in that joke? Because I think...
Hey, Lenny Riefenstahl.
Ben Stone asks, hey guys, what are some items on your bucket list? For example, publishing a book and going skydiving are a couple items on mine. Maybe performing somewhere specific or putting out some kind of content.
What is that last part, though?
He's suggesting what might be on our bucket list.
What is that
Maybe
thing?
Performing somewhere specific or putting out some kind of content.
That would be what someone would do knowing they were dying?
No.
Oh, I'm laughing more as if my mood has been changed. I don't know. Why would you not want to be high? I'll tell you why. Because if I'm at let's say I have an audition.
All right.
Doesn't help.
Didn't help.
Makes it
I
terrible.
mean, doesn't help.
What's that?
I said didn't help. I mean, doesn't help.
Doesn't help. Oh, don't say that. And stand-up comedy, sometimes fun, but sometimes is it really that much fun?
Yeah, you
for
shouldn't.
The crowd.
You shouldn't at this point.
I shouldn't just. Yeah, exactly. I shouldn't do comedy. Let alone the other
that's
thing.
That's a whole separate ball of fish.
Don't Perush back. I'm going to need to Perush back on this.
Do you have any bucket list items?
Oh, it's depressing the way that the question is phrased. Because
is there anything you feel like you would like to do in the time you have left?
Yeah, I would. That's why I reject the bucket list idea. I want to do what I want to do now.
You don't have to wait until you're dying for a bucket list.
Yes.
A bucket list is something you want to do between now and death.
Yeah. Oh, so what did you say, doctor? I have a month. I have a month to live. Okay. In that case, I do have a different list.
All right. I'd like to lie in a bed with some tubes in me, and
what is the point of? First of all, if you know you're going to die,
why are you getting mad at this person's question?
I'm mad.
So no, you're not going to answer. You're just going to rage at the question.
Oh, I forgot. Was I being inquired?
Yes.
What were they saying to me?
Do you have any fucking thing on your fucking bucket list?
What's that?
I said, never mind.
So you don't have to whisper it. It already is awkward. Hey, I need to tell you something off mic. Josh, the part where I wasn't funny, take it out.
CJ says, last week you referred to Seinfeld as a monster. Yes, I did, and I felt a little weird about that, I have to admit. I agree with your comments after hearing his views on Cosby, but do you think he was always this way? I like to think 90s Seinfeld was a good guy. Probably the seeds of it were there in the 90s, but arrogance plus massive success doesn't generally make people think, hey, maybe I should rethink my approach. After that first couple $100 million, you think, hey, I might be right about just about everything. Everything I think might just be spot on.
But the other thing I think you would probably say is, as I put words in your mouth, is that you would probably say, like when I think of Seinfeld, I'm very happy. I feel blessed that there's been a Seinfeld in my life. I watch Seinfelds on the TV during the day. It's fucking the greatest. So it's like, I have mixed feelings about Seinfeld, but I kind of love him, but you can't not know that that he really has that, they didn't laugh at my joke.
There is an arrogance to it that he's very proud of.
Right.
He's he has a smirky he's smirky about his arrogance.
Yeah, he has a fake.
That's a little off-putting.
Like an almost Scientology.
I mean, he was a hero of mine when I started, for sure.
Right.
And
I love the show Seinfeld. I love it.
Yeah, I don't have as deep a love of it as you.
Well, I got
genuinely tired of it.
Yeah, at the end maybe, but it's one of the things like
a few seasons in, I did.
Well, let's put it this way. You're going to have your Dick Van Dyke, you're going to have this, you're going to have a number of shows that you will say
absolutely
will make your life happy. Not every episode, but you'll like it.
It is in
Newhart.
It goes in the American television time vault for sure.
Not the second Newhart or the third Newhart.
Second Newhart was pretty solid.
The second one is the innkeeper?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. But now, I don't want to make the argument. Did Bob Newhart pass away?
No.
Why do I say things like that?
Because it's what old Jews do.
It's so stupid. I told you when I go and I see a museum exhibit, the first thing I look at is how long the artist lived.
Their actual age.
Oh, well, he lived to 75. That's good, I say. That's good, I say to myself. Not loud. So what I think it's because I'm afraid of of dementia that I'm afraid that if you can't remember when Bob Newhart died, what's the point of continuing?
Right. It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Next thing you don't know if Hal Linden's alive.
But that first Bob Newhart show, and I'm going to watch the second one, but the first one with Elliot Carlin.
Yeah, it was a great show. Bob Furu says, guys, what would your brand have been in the 70s? Altered Thought Theater, perhaps? We would have been the Groove Brothers. I'm certain of it.
But do people have brands in the 70s?
We would go, hey, welcome to the show. How's your groove this week, Andy?
I like that. Oh, so you would be more like a 60s disc jockey.
No, but in the 70s.
70s. Well, to me, the 70s are the 60s.
No, the 70s are FM.
And the 60s were like...
Hey,
Wolfman.
Hey!
It's Wolfman Jack. Hey, it's Huell Hauser, Wolfman Jack. It's fantastic.
That's right. Here's a new one from Three Dog Night. It's fantastic.
Here's Don McLean. Bob, Miss America. I like American Pie. God. Oh, my God. That entertained me. And I don't care that others might disagree.
That's good. Donnie wants to know, what advice can you give regarding picking a band name?
That's a tough one. I've always been terrible band.
It is the worst. I think I'm great at band names.
Yeah.
But everyone I'm in a band with has their own ideas. It's really, it makes you, I have to tell you, as an adult, I've been in a couple of situations in the past 10 years with people where we've had to pick a band name, and it's a ridiculous process that makes you hate being
Because you haven't even no one cares about the music you're making of this new band. First of all,
it just makes you feel like the worst thing about being 15 years old, but you're with 40-something-year-olds, or 50-year-olds.
I like Pillow Green.
Right. It's
there's nothing good about it.
How can you do anything that's, first of all, irony-free at this age?
That's true. That's true.
Like the cover band I was last in with some buddies was called Low Bar.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah, but I had to fight for it because there was a lot of sincere names.
Let me hear some of the other pitches.
I can't remember. This was several years ago.
Well, everyone knows I was in the band called The Visitors, and that's the worst name ever. The Visitors. The Visitors, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the home team.
It's not the worst ever.
It is the worst.
No, what was the jazz one?
Oh, a Transfusion?
Yeah.
Was that the name of it?
Yes.
I hear that now. It sounds like an insane thing. Because you think of a blood transfusion.
Right.
You don't think of jazz music.
Well, not when you heard you.
Beyond Fusion. Oh, I hate that man. I hate myself.
I told you it was worse.
I hate the person I was who came up with that name. I also wrote a song called The Califormula.
You who? Is that true?
That's true, and that is a kind of a funny song.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought it was pretty clever that I came up with.
Is it recorded?
Yes, I can bring that in.
Please do. Please do.
I have it. What if I have it tomorrow? I can go back to my goddamn apartment and find what I call the masters of these things.
Yeah.
But what if they're on cassette tapes?
Well, find somebody to transfer them.
I know. I know in the back of your mind, you really are scared that I'm going to
And Josh, and we talked about this music. What do I do with this format?
Yeah.
You don't want to be involved in it.
Nope.
I'm going to find it tomorrow.
Bring me MP3s or.
And then next week, I'm going to say, follow that, Josh, and you'll hear one of my. Okay, there's no reason to over-promote it.
All right. Stand by your man. Andy, during the courting stage, did you ever think about changing Karen to Susan and telling her you wrote her an original song?
I want to write a song for my wife. I don't want it to sound like a Borat takeoff.
Susan, continue to waste your time on me.
Why do you hold me to the same melody line? It would be more like...
Because that was the premise of this whole thing.
Well, no, I'm new. It would be like...
Okay.
Adam Sandler style. Whenever you do that voice, it always sounds like... Adam Sandler. What would you say is how he does his voice?
Oh, he talked like this. Oh, Susan.
More, please. Oh, no.
Seth Dick III, favorite game show. Followed by, and I think Foster Brooks was on Tattletales. What would that sound like?
I don't remember Tattletales.
My wife said a brr. My wife said a brr. My wife said the brr. She's on the monitor.
What is Tattletales?
Tattletales was Bert Convey's show.
Oh, come on.
Where couples came on.
And they would...
And they'd go backstage and the wife or the husband would be in the monitor that's in the podium in front of them. And they'd each have a section of the audience rooting for them.
Oh, God, this sounds terrible.
So that's not your favorite. What is your favorite game show?
Oh, no one... Is that your...
No, separate questions, but I'm trying to blend them together into a...
I think the Gong Show might be my favorite game show.
Really?
The original Gong Show. Of course.
Yes. Because you're a huge J.P. Morgan fan, right?
I love her so much on that show. I don't know if it holds up, but Murray Langston always cracked me up when he go, "Hey Chucky, hey Chucky, hey Chucky," and Gene, the dancing machine.
Yeah.
And Chuck Barris would go, "We'll be back with more stuff." The guy was like, "Hi," he was like, cool, not insane, as we later found out.
Right. My favorite.
What is that?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What is
You've
it?
been to the show, right?
What show?
Our show?
We don't do a yodel. We don't do a yodel bit.
It's Mountain Climber, man. It's Mountain Climber.
You know what, Josh? I'm going to admit to you right now that I came into this podcast stone cold sober.
Yeah.
At the break, I smoked a joint, and it has not helped me at all. I don't understand the yodel lady. You'll tell me now or later?
It's the theme song to Mountain Climber on The Price is Right.
Oh, and we were talking about that in relay.
Shiftless Element says gun rights advocates like to point to the AR and AR-15 refers to Armalite rather than assault rifle. Kind of an irrelevant point. Armalite, ladies.
I am
good. That was good,
such a
Shifless.
fan of anything in that structure.
Nice work.
So,
Shiftless Element.
First of all, I love the name Shiftless Element. The other thing I want to say is we should. Why don't we have some? He wins. She wins. A trip to. I'll come back with the prize some week. and
You
an
are
idea.
so fucking stoned right now.
Maybe it's also that I'm just not funny. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah. Oh, I thought of that. Greg W. Just saw the brilliant Todd Glass in my podunk town in southwest Missouri. Along with Andy Kindler, he's my favorite comedian. You guys ever play the Sticks?
What's the podunk town?
Somewhere in southwest Missouri.
I would love to go there. Oh, I would. I love Todd Glass, so I would love to go on the road with him to Missouri. But you can't. He has to run his own show. He has to have the lighting He actually adjusts the lighting in the green room. That's how intense he is.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is, get a price from Todd Glass, and I'll beat it.
Dan Beaumarchais says, how would the show be different if Josh had 2 adrenal glands?
Well, why don't I understand that?
Well, you can take it on 2 levels. One, that I'm very calm. And I think the other one is because I had a kidney removed and the adrenal gland is adjacent to the kidney.
These people are like genius level people.
They saved my adrenal gland when they took the kidney out, so I do have 2 adrenal glands.
What do you mean they saved it? Like they put it somewhere
didn't
else?
come out with the kidney.
They took it out?
They left it in.
What does the adrenal glands? Oh, you don't want to
produces
deplete them.
adrenaline.
All right. Did you ever have the World Book?
We're in diminishing returns hill.
No, I only feel bad just on the basis of editing. But did you ever have the World Book thing with the plastic, with the see-through pages that overlapped the different veins and things?
I've seen those, yeah.
I loved it so much. I don't know what it means. Don't give me that look.
Greg Kelly.
It's not my fault I'm not effective.
Greg Kelly, thoughts on the designated hitter?
I think you have to have it because it's already in play, and I do enjoy it.
But if they were going one rule, both leagues, what would you choose?
I would choose. It's a tough one. It's easy for anybody to be a baseball purist and say, I'm going to go with the pitcher has to hit. That would be my first instinct. But I don't think that would be fair to the side of me that enjoys seeing 9 people who can hit come up. So you know what? I don't know, Josh. I just don't know. How about you? Why don't you turn the tables that way?
I don't give a fuck, Andy. Okay, are you happy? No, I think if I was to choose one rule, I would choose pitchers, not designated hitters. But I'm fine with the difference.
I agree with you because sometimes I really do think it sucks that this is designated hitter.
It's just more interesting. The strategy of having to change
Bunting,
and when you have to change, the double
switches.
switch, that whole thing makes it a more
Double,
interesting game.
the last time I experienced a double switch was on my wedding night.
A guy incognito, a follow-up. Huell Hauser emceeing a hostile crowd during a deaf comedy jam. Please and thanks.
That sounds like how are we going to...
I could really easily walk into some very racist territory here, but I really think that I could make a connection with these people. I really think that they and I are going to bond, because I'm just bringing an international sense of goodwill to the crowd. Holy shit, they're trying to kill me.
Now that's where you'd get letters
Right.
at the end. So you're telling me that these people are all black? That's fantastic. Is that good?
That's good.
You know, we are sometimes, I think of us as very white.
Do you? You know, I saw the whitest episode of television ever made last night.
What was it?
It was the Carson episode.
Oh, really?
And his guests were Dick Cavett, Jimmy Brogan, and Dave Barry.
It screams white people.
The whitest piece of television.
Was it kind of boring?
It was pretty boring.
Is Dave Barry?
But you know what was great is that I think it was like 1984-ish. Jimmy Brogan did my Mr. Reminiscence character. His set was what that was.
Remember Slinky?
It was.
I got it. Now I got to see it.
Oreos and Hydrox and the store-bought cookies, which are the worst. And I had the lunchbox that was black and red checked. And it was just like, remember that? It was all like the whole
Remember
set
that
was
is-
remember that.
Remember that if we get nothing more out of that kind of comedy than Mr. Reminiscence Man,
Then-
it's just worth it.
Exactly.
Remember that kind of comedy?
Remember that?
Remember that? Remember when comedy was based on that you remembered the reference? Remember that?
Hee Haw the book says, Josh, are you as excitedly counting down the days until Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out? And to include Andy, were video games ever a big part of your life?
I'm confused by everything in that question. What's coming out?
Did you ever play video games?
No, but I'm not
Okay.
against playing them, but I haven't.
And yes, I'm looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2 because
Who?
It's a
Red eye reduction?
Red Dead Redemption.
It's about a photographer's red eye reduction?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What was it?
Doesn't matter.
No, please say.
No, why would I fucking want to explain a video game?
because I
to you?
apologize.
Why in the
I
world?
apologize and-
what do I possibly
No, because I'll tell you why. I apologize for my previous behavior, and I actually do want to know the name of the thing.
Red Dead Redemption.
Is that like political?
No, it's a Western.
Oh, okay. And so what?
And the first one sucked up a couple weeks of my life solidly.
You loved it.
Loved it. Played it a lot. Played it more than once through.
It requires. I know I sound like an idiot, but I've never played anything. It requires dexterity, right?
It requires incredible skill.
And hand-eye. Doesn't it require hand-eye coordination?
A little bit. A little bit.
And all I can think of is like.
I can say with authority that you wouldn't enjoy it.
All I can think of is playing laser tag, and that kid who was 12 years old yelling at me, "I'm already dead. You can't kill me again." Like I was the oldest, most annoying human being on the
Like,
planet.
is there anything bigger bully than overkilling somebody?
I'm already dead.
Tommy Barcanero.
Tommy Buccanero.
Do you guys ever see yourselves moving out of Los Angeles? If so, where would you like to live?
I can't believe I would. I'd like to have more than one house. So I'd like to have I'd like to have an apartment in New York. But you know what? I'd also rather just go to the hotel in New York. I'd like to have an
That's
apartment.
kind of always my answer.
Yeah.
Because I'm lazy.
Me too.
So it's not like I would use the apartment in the other state that much. Like the amount of nights you can spend in a really fucking nice hotel
Yes.
versus keeping an apartment somewhere.
If I was despicably rich, if I was crazy wealthy, it still sounds like a pain in the ass. Why don't you go into the, why do you want to maintain this illusion?
The only thing that would make me actually want to leave LA, aside from cost, if shit got really bad money wise someday,
Right.
Is earthquakes. I do like the idea of not having that threat.
Like, why are you, you should make a list of things that you should never bring up with me. Because I'm already nervous. Yeah. And I don't worry about earthquakes. Now I have another thing.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Josh.
Welcome aboard.
Why are you saying? Then we had an earthquake. It's over.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember the one?
Yes, and there's no threat from North Korea either.
Well, we had one in Northridge, right? No, where was the epicenter?
Northridge.
It's over. Come on.
Yeah.
Did I spill something?
No.
You're right, though. I do worry about earthquake. I worry about everything, but I kind of am excited when an earthquake is happening. If it is exciting, a little bit like I hope if it doesn't kill you, I like the feeling.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I agree it's exciting, but it's not a good exciting.
No, but they go, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like Space Mountain.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Andy, have you ever thought of updating the Hacks Handbook? It's time, no?
I actually am thinking, but I probably shouldn't talk about this, but, someone will steal my idea? Fuck it. You know what, Josh? I'm gonna stop living scared like you, where you bury all your ideas in the attic.
Right.
A friend of mine is like the editor of Mad, so he said, "Do I have any ideas?" So I was thinking of maybe trying to update something for Mad from the Hacks Handbook,
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
So I think, but that's not a great answer. But I was thinking like I couldn't think of any other, because there's nothing really hack. There's nothing really hack. It would have to be more maybe like a hack app of some type.
Right.
You know, that you could. But there's nothing specifically hack like there was back then with I'm half this, I'm half that, and the other thing happens.
There is. It's harder to scope out now. But
Right.
there certainly are some played out tropes.
Well, for a while, the homeless was a played out trope.
Right.
So the answer is I think I should do something. Because what am I worried about? Overexposure? What am I worried about? Beating a premise into the ground? That's my brand.
Will Pfeiffer says, watching the 1994 movie Disclosure last night with Dennis Miller playing a computer geek. He plays a similar role in another bad 1990s movie, The Net. Your thoughts, Cha-Cha?
Oh, my God.
Well, that was before those foreigners came in and replaced that role.
Yeah.
You trying to find a white guy playing a tech dude these days, you're out of luck, Choochie.
Hey, listen, huh, babe?
They brought in Mr. Punjabi in a wheelchair to play my part. You won't see me playing Computer Geek number 2 again.
I really like
We've been displaced, is my point.
I like the idea of a future robot, Dennis Miller.
Hey, look, babe. Hey, huh, babe? Take a powder.
I'm very sorry that I stopped something positive you were doing. Because I had to go for that premise?
Huh? Hey, Cha-Cha.
Why is Cha-Cha the best, Dennis Miller? Is there any other better word than Cha-Cha?
Well, Cha-Cha was an actual Dennis Miller.
Hey, I've got a life to lead, Cha-Cha.
That's where it all stems from.
But who's he talking to?
Someone in traffic, I think.
It's just hilarious.
Mark Thompson says, what classic stand-up comedians do the two of you admire or cite as an influence?
I would say everybody. I mean, there's so many people who. It's hard to even separate influences from like new people. Like I love Ron Funch.
But we're talking, he said classic.
Oh, classic. But
The big ones,
Letterman,
Pryor, Carlin, Cosby, unfortunately.
Cosby. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I don't remember even hearing a lot of those things with the potato
His
salad.
first out, Bill Cosby is a very funny fellow, right? Was in my house and in a big rotation when I was a little kid. It wasn't like my parents played it, but I played it a lot and listened to it a lot.
Bob Newhart for sure.
Yeah.
But now
He was never an influence. I kind of went back and listened to Button Down Mind after.
Oh no,
after
I'm
I was
not
a
even talking
comedian.
about. I'm just talking about the Bob Newhart show. So I don't even think it applies. I don't really even I don't even remember him doing those phone bits and stuff. I know he's hilarious. So
Yeah, I mean, I've heard all those from his albums, but I didn't think of Bob Newhart as a stand-up growing up because of the show.
Richard Lewis, but that's not that.
He's almost qualifies as he's certainly a full generation ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but then I always get confused because I always think of like I love Mary Tyler Moore, I love Dick Van Dyke. A lot of the comedy I loved
Right.
was not delineated as stand-up.
Yeah.
Is he?
The question is classic stand-up comedian.
Why don't I just punch myself in the face? You know what I'm saying? Why do I take a question? The question is specific.
Yes.
He goes, What are your favorite classic stand-up comedians? Now, and I respond with, are we talking just stand-up comedians now? I'm trying to think if I remember Rodney Dangerfield. I loved Rodney Dangerfield. I remember Phyllis Diller. I loved everyone I saw like on Sullivan, but I don't remember seeing a million people.
Yeah.
How could I make a question about comedy worse?
I don't know. Tweet Bahara, Andy, I teach juggling in my art classes, eye-hand coordination, and I guarantee I can teach you, maybe during the next Moon Tower. Of course, Andy has no recollection that we talked about juggling.
No, I do.
So, yeah, sure
I
you
do.
Yeah. You
It
don't
just
remember
sounds like a lot of work.
You don't remember the yodeling aria.
I don't remember the yodel. I know I remember it, but it didn't stick. I will, I'm not against learning how to juggle, but there's always a struggle in my mind with like, oh, I'm so fascinated by something, but not that fascinated to actually commit to trying it.
Okay. Sweet Bahar also says, why are there NDAs, stuff like that in showbiz? Not talking about the Jen Kirkman gig. Isn't publicity better? Confused. Well, NDAs and the Jen Kirkman gig was a separate thing. That was simply she promotes to her own crowd. She wants that at that show, and she didn't want, if we post about it, then other comedians will bother her about getting on the show, basically.
Right.
That's how it is in this crowded world of comedy, that if you have a show, people will bug you to get on it.
Oh, and everything depends on the context.
But
right.
NDAs, I know people do shows for Netflix, and like Netflix is incredibly secretive about their stuff and very, very high stress about keeping things secret until they premiere.
Did we ask how your acting went?
No, my acting went good.
That's all we could say about it.
I had an NDA with the acting
That's the
gig.
way I was backdooring. We call that backdooring it in podcast land.
But it was fun. It was good. I actually had to rehearse, which was good.
And many of your fears.
Usually I can't get myself to the point of actually preparing.
Oh, so
I can, I'll say it in my head a bunch of times.
Right.
And act as if that's what the performance is going to do. But I'm not a natural actor. So I was luckily hip enough to go, you need to say this out loud until what you're thinking it sounds like it actually sounds like.
Right, but mostly I find unless you have I think there are people who have a facility to learn, photographic memory or whatever.
Yeah.
I find that through probably a combination of OCD, laziness, ADD, I'm never able to really get it all in my head until I do it in a way.
You need the situation to really lock it in, I feel like, because,
and then it makes sense and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Then you can give a human performance to it because you're reacting to something.
Right. Nobody's better at that than me.
That's what I hear.
In the bedroom.
Before? Let's circling back here.
You're not going to push back. You're circling back. Put a pin in the other thing. Why can't I get a job why can't I just be the color commentator?
You can.
That guy's got a problem. I mean, that type of thing.
Try.
Well, we could add a third
1 week.
person. We could add a third person like that. We could add Joel Madison as a regular. Can you imagine adding someone else as a regular and trying to pull that off?
No.
Can you imagine me without the whining and complaining?
Nope.
Could you imagine a more sexy comic than I am?
Sorry, I just died completely inside.
Hasn't stopped me. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to yes and you for the rest until the show ends.
Spraticus says, I like hearing the process of working out jokes on the show. Are there any comics, celebrities, topics you're working on for the state of the industry that you guys feel will need more attention in the weeks leading up to the speech?
I mean, like current figures in the news?
Are you picking your targets yet?
Oh, well, the thing is there's so much going on, and I think I'm going to want to talk about a lot of stuff like Roseanne and Samantha Bee, who I love. But there's got to be a lot. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on like that. But then I can't remember anything. But I have notes.
Okay.
Is there anything happening right now?
If you come to our show on July 10th at the Improv Lab,
We'll be focused by then.
We'll be focused. We'll be trying out bits. And you, the rest of you, will hear it the next week.
I have general things like, what's the deal with this bad comedy? Like that.
That's good. It's a good area.
Who's the genius rocket scientist who decided that you should name something Pop TV? Oh, but not necessarily Pop TV.
What is Pop TV?
I don't know. I have a meeting there in August. You don't know what Pop TV is? I didn't mean it to come out that way, but that's kind of how I meant it. It's like on a level. It's like the poor man. It's like the working man's antenna TV. It's like the poor man's cozy.
Ooh. Well, Andy.
I'm not. Did you think that was a wrap-up sign?
No, I was hoping it was a wrap-up sign.
Oh, look. You know,
it's a long time.
I gotta tell you something. I'm starting
This
to.
is a long show.
I used to think you
Andy,
had drum.
If you were trying to keep me from having to edit, you failed. It's a long show.
It is a long show, but I always felt that you are like a drummer. You keep the rhythm of the show.
Uh-oh.
And I felt like in the last hour or so, you've been. It's almost like you think I'm going to come through like a cleanup hitter because one time years ago. I hit a home run. I can't do metaphors.
I think of you as the bagpipe player.
All I want to know is I'm not, and I'm telling you this going forward with this podcast, no matter where it goes, if it even gets bigger than this, I'm not going to be the bad guy. All right? All right?
Hey, if you want to talk to us during the week.
They don't want to talk to us.
All right.
No, they do want to talk to us. I thought maybe if we, you don't think adding a fight at the end would be good? It's better than the aimless observations I was making. How about this? Remember I said,
if you'd like to contact us or do any of the stuff we talked, listen to the end of a previous show.
oh,
And that'll tell
no.
you everything you need to know.
How come you've never let me say where they should write to?
Because you say it wrong all the time. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, if you want to contact us, send questions to at thoughtspiralshow.com. It's a Google thing, isn't it?